want your presence to be in our nation. We thank you for nationhood, 50 years of nationhood, and we pray, Almighty God, that you be with us throughout the existence of our nation. This morning, I pray, Father God, that as we all unite together, as one voice, as leaders of this nation, we can utter the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and thy glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, are there any petitions? Notices? Honourable members, we have a question time of 45 minutes. Honourable member for Bulolo.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Correction, Tasol. Bulolo Tasol.
Sorry, Bulolo.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, my questions are directed to the good Prime Minister because it relates to a number of ministries and also touches on the government policy on benefit sharing for the people of Papua New Guinea. I would like the Minister for Forests, Treasury, Lands and Physical Planning, Provincial and LLG Affairs, Energy, Housing and Urban Development, State Enterprise, Finance, Justice and Attorney General to take note. Mr. Speaker, Assistant Speaker, sorry. I wrote to the Minister for Forests on 16th August 2024 and also to the Governor of the Central Bank and copied most of the ministers affected that relates to colonial legacy and negotiations done in the 1950s to 1960s. This relates to the acquisition of the land in Bulolo that forestry plantation is located. So is the current township of Bulolo, so is the supply of electricity. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the land acquisition was done by colonial administration, but the agreement on the benefits and compensation was executed in 1973 by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and Environment. The national government dealt with application for logging in West Morobe, including the Bulolo plantations, and made a number of decisions under NEC Decision 211, 1995, relating to lease of Bulolo town area and supply of power by PNG Forest Products to Bulolo and Wow towns, and 20% free carry equity in PNG Forest Products Limited. The Department of Forest and now National Forest Services are the custodian of the agreement and its implementation, including various land acquisition and forestry permit and agreement with the people. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the issues that have been raised with National Forest Authority and other government agencies are: number one, restoration of 25% royalty to Monkey Clan as per 1973 agreement. Number two, 1993 Land Court decision and compensation claim to National Lands Commission regarding the Bulolo plantation land. Number three, monies for future generations or trust monies invested in Bank of Papua New Guinea bonds in the name of treasurer as trustee and savings account number S5455 with PNGBC, now BSP, Port Moresby branch. Number four, implementation of the NEC decisions 211, 1995 relating to lease of Bulolo town area and supply of power by the PNG Forest Products to Bulolo and Wow towns. Number five, 20% free carry equity for PNG Forest Products Limited to people of Bulolo. Number six, use of plantation levy account for community infrastructure. And finally, benefit sharing from forestry under organic law on PLLG. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the Prime Minister is aware of the displacement of the many persons in 2007 who were brought to work on the gold fields and plantations. There are many conflicts within the community as well as lack of land for the district and LLG administration purpose and for the businesses. My questions are, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Number one, can the Prime Minister appoint an inter-ministry and department committee to look into the issue and make recommendations and action plan, as it is very delicate as it deals with the land and cultural groups? Number two, can the Prime Minister direct the Ministry for Lands and Physical Planning and Housing and Urban Development and the agencies to excise land from the forest lease granted to PNG Forest Products Limited and the National Forest Service for the declaration of Bulolo as seat of the Bulolo district and for urban development and public housing and public and business use? Number three, could the Prime Minister inform us as to which ministry or agency is holding the 20% shares for the people of Bulolo in the PNG Forest Products Limited? Number four, can the Prime Minister appoint a state negotiation committee for a benefit sharing agreement between the state, Bulolo DDA, and the Watut LLG, and the local landowners under organic law on provincial and LLG that provides for benefit sharing from natural resources such as mining, forestry, or water? Mr. Assistant Speaker, number five, when will the Bulolo people benefit from the forestry that is on both customary land and state lease, harvested by the state, and it is a natural resource where other provincial governments and LLG landowners have agreements on spin-off and benefits, including log development levy? And finally, Mr. Speaker, Assistant Speaker, when is the Ministry of Energy or State Enterprise going to review the energy needs of the Bulolo district? The Bulolo district has outgrown the capacity of the 50-year concession of power generation by PNG Forest Products Limited and needs review. The Watut and the Muming people, the landowners of the Bulolo forestry, are without electricity despite hosting the Hidden Valley mine and plantations. Mr. Assistant Speaker, when the colonial and post-independence legacy issues affecting the economy and the people of Bulolo is resolved, we must be ready to see change around Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, President Speaker. Me like to thank you, Lord. Member belong Bulolo, Maki Maus belong all people belong in. As leader belong place, me ask him these important questions. Many of them are legacy issues that we are faced to deal with and clean up. All that he asks is not things that cannot be done. Based on statute and law that we have today, we could look into what has happened and tidy up and give respect where it is due, especially to our landowners and to our people concerned. So Mila give him a belly seal long people belong Bulolo, leader belong Bulolo people. Also, all get us something you raise him, things that we can look at. And I will let the earlier set up a minister responsible in these sectors to attend to all matters and bring to cabinet. Certainly, the Bulolo people are appreciated. The Bulolo forestry has been a very strong economic contributor, not just to the Bulolo district, but to Morobe and to our country. The electorate is an economic district, an electorate associated with WOW and Warrior. They have been a steady contributor. And so I want to give you full assurance that our government will look into cleaning up some of these legacy issues that has been asked. Certainly, if it was agreed in the past, then those agreements need to be honored. I want to ask kindly if the leader could furnish to me a detailed copy of the questions that he's asked, and at the very, very earliest, you will get a team of ministers assembled and to attend to this matter. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Member for Sowe.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. questions below me raising along Honorable Prime Minister and Minister belong Tourism, Minister belong Environmental Conservation, Governor belong Central Naoro, with the Honorable Member belong Karuhiri, Lord take note. Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, questions below me go along Prime Minister.
Member for Karuhiri, what is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a slight correction to the good member for Sohe. The seat that I represent is Hiri Koyari. The Kokoda track, which I understand is going to raise this question for, is in that district, not Kairukuhiri. That's no, doesn't exist anymore. Thank you.
Honorable members, your point of order is in order.
Thank you.
Ask your question.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My apology to the honourable member, but I mean take note long questions by me raising. Questions by me are centered around long joint understanding, number 1, number 2, and number 3, with the Australian government and PNG government. Mr. Deputy Speaker, with due respect of Papua New Guinea and Australian governments, joint understanding. Number 1, joint understanding. Number 2, joint understanding. Number 3, resulted from the high-profile PNG and Australian Ministerial Committee meeting that was held in Medang in 2008. It was from this meeting that the decision was made by the two governments to preserve the Brown River catchment, Owen Stanley Ranges, and the Kokoda Track region due to its significant values under these 3 pillars. Pillar number 1, Kokoda Track. Pillar number 2, the communities along the Kokoda Track, and environment. Kokoda Track runs through the 96 kilometers from Oro in Kokoda and into Sogeri. We have 6 council wards in Koyari LLG, in the Hiri Koyari, and 8 council wards in Kokoda LLG in Soe, Oro Province. This bilateral policy was empowered by the NEC Division number 27, 2008, protection of Brown River catchment for future power and water supplies to the Port Moresby City and its surroundings. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the second joint understanding declaration was signed by both the Prime Ministers, the then Prime Minister Honourable Peter O'Neill and Australian Prime Minister, then Prime Minister Honourable Tony Abbott, on the 10th of September 2015. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the second joint understanding signed builds on the long relationship between the two countries. The bond that was born in the time of shared sacrifice strengthened through mutual respect. Today, the Papua New Guinea and Australian work together in strong partnership to deliver real, tangible development outcomes for the Kokoda Track communities, landowners, trekkers, and the future generations of the two countries. Building on the activities delivered under the joint understanding signed in 2008 in Medang, the Kokoda Initiative implements activities under the following 5 goals of the joint understanding. Number 1, a safe and well-managed Kokoda Track which honors its wartime historical significance, protects and promotes its special values. Number 2, enhance quality of life for landowners and communities through improved delivery of service deliveries, the income generation and community development activities. Number 3, working with the communities, landowners, the tourism industry and all levels of government to ensure that activities established under the Kokoda Initiative programs are sustained into the future. Number 4, a wise use of catchment protection area, including the Kokoda track and its natural resources. Mr. Speaker, the Kokoda Initiative is the implementing arm of the Papua New Guinea and Australian Joint Understanding signed in 2015. The Kokoda Initiative implements activities under this agreement, brings together a range of organizations to work together towards achieving the common vision of sustainable development of the Brown River catchment, Owen Stanley Ranges, and the Kokoda Track region by protecting of its special historical, cultural, and natural values. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the NEC decision number 401, 2014, meeting number 11, 2014, and NEC decision number 90.
You are making a statement. Can you ask the question?
Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, it's better that me giving background information before me asking question.
Honorable Member, we have a lot of members. They have to ask the question, so you can.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Let me ask him the question now. Decision number 6, 2015, directed that 10 million kina be allocated annually to the Kokoda Track communities. Me certain question by the Prime Minister and ministers to take note. The decision 10 million kina annually start in 2015 for the next 10 years. And the 10 years lapsed long last year. My people of the Kokoda region, like Southwest supposed is like 10 million kina where NEC decision stop again. It's like 10 million kina only releasing penis or Nogad, the Kokoda Track region community like Sawe. And if the government release that money, release them animal programs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Assistant Speaker. I'd like to thank you, Melody Sohe, on behalf of his people. I'm asking this question on a commitment made by government to our people, in fact, both governments. I want to give him assurance I will revisit my notes and to do and get our relevant departments to do an assessment on how much has been paid already in terms of honoring those commitments and what is outstanding. And if there is any outstanding, then we will enter into a program to make sure that these commitments are kept up with at the very earliest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member for Samara Mroa.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Law. Give him looks how come law. The people of Samara Mroa. Thank you. For you, Deputy Speaker, we like raising some asking why not paper. I'm asking to go along Prime Minister. And if the Minister for Mining to take note.
Honorable Member, you have a point of order. Honorable Minister, what is your point of order?
Mr. Assistant Speaker, what we can see the chair asking or asking Pastor. Now, the asking was people are going to call him Assistant Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and kind of same. You make it clear you had some black and ask it because Speaker is there, we got Deputy there. There's a bit of everyone is calling different names. That's why I'm trying long. Bring come to channel clear in this line.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Your point of order is in order. Honourable members, we have a Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and Assistant Speaker, so you can address the Chair's Assistant Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member.
Thank you for the correction. I think it's important that we may address each other according to our titles and respective position. We may give him long Parliament. So now me put him go log Assistant Speaker. through you, Assistant Speaker, may I address him? Somehow we ask him to go along, Prime Minister, and if the Minister for Mine to take note. I will go ask him, and number one, whether the Prime Minister is aware regarding the developments of Missima mine and the position of 30, he come along, or plus Lomi now people Lomi Missima. So me surrounding this asking Lomi, Igor Dispala, in regards to EL 1747, or 30 mining, or like aquarium, you go and sell or develop a mine of Missima. So this is our position, because I that we got to put him on 95 million Aussie dollar and 95 million Aussie dollar for that acquisition. So this was asking me, MOSM, whether the Prime Minister is aware. Number one, Keystone Resources have not done enough. All working enough exploration drilling to prove up the gold reserve. How much gold is that? Money out, give me now. Thrive money to us. How much resource is that? How much resource stable ground? Nobody may put in money on nothing because Missima, it's not a green field. It's been mined since 1800. It comes now. The last one was Placer Dome. Number two, Octavia has paid first 50 million Aussie dollars without either party securing the exploration license. EL lapsed in March this year. It lapsed. Now you put him in sale. But the Prime Minister is also aware that mine warden hearing on conducting on Missima, or go background, or talk like extension long exploration in Oglosalin. That was never mentioned to my people. Or man agreeable extension, not for sale. In Oglosalin. I'm not talking about people like me. Dishonesty. Honor out in truth. My people are misled to believe that, or they're extending for the purposes of exploration. Exploration. Number three, we like to talk about some the Yahweh Prime Minister also that the acquisition contract of Teddy Limited will make the following further payments to Kingston Resources. Like a supplement payment by Kenya after the acquisition. I'll talk about some. Number one, 10 million Aussie dollars will be paid after 12 months. Number two, 10 million will be paid for final investment decision, FID phase. And then, I'll talk about some 0.5% gross revenue royalty on all gold production from Missima after 500 million ounces of gold been produced. Has been produced with Octavia having a royalty buyback right of Aussie dollar 25 million. 25 million by me giving gold, royalty gold online. Royalty. Royalty. And the last question, you like to see me come. Octavia is owned by the state. Government believes I'm only in the Octavia miner. Whether this plan, transaction or this plan deal, let me come to NSC. NSC look him now to correct past time before we go into the commercial arrangements. Whether PM is aware of this. Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Assistant Speaker. I want to appreciate a very good question by Member Blong Samare Murua. That is why we're in office to be as leaders in a respective part of our country, closest to where people and actions are. If something that is happening that for a public interest, needs to be raised here on the floor or to executive government. This needs to be raised. I want to commend him for raising this series of important questions. Firstly, I want to say NEC is not aware of the transaction, neither is the Office of Prime Minister aware of the transaction that took place. And I would ask the member to furnish to me those questions in good writing. And I will get Minister, Trustee Delegate Minister to ask Kumul Mineral Holding Limited to ask again Octedi. Octedi is a subsidiary of Kumul Mining Holding Limited. Will be asked as to what is the total transaction and what took place in that mine. But I am informed through the media on the purchase. I have no full visibility into the exact details of the purchase and the transaction. I don't think the Trustee Minister also, Trustee Delegate Minister also has full knowledge. It has taken place at the subsidiary level, where one of our state-owned enterprises has gone on acquiring an asset. But this Parliament is entitled to have full information as to what has happened, and this question is a good question raised for public interest and good public policy. We'll get back to the leader, but also through this Parliament on the full details of those matters raised in this good question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Me too, me like ask him one kind of question, Golo Minister Mining. Before I do so, I'd like to congratulate your party, our party. We'll get one more member come inside law, House play me. Mr. Assistant Speaker, question below me is with in regards to mining exploration licenses. A company, Mido Mining Limited, has been granted exploration license in Milne Bay province, particularly the Huhu LLG area, with further views to expand into other areas of Milne Bay province. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the process of granting the exploration license is of great concern to the tenement areas concerned. The current exploration license granted covers Guga area, Bow and Divinai tenements. That's towards East Cape or the tip of Papua New Guinea, if some of you have been to Milne Bay province. Currently, we understand, Mr. Speaker, PNG needs more exploration of its mineral resources, and we are not against that. However, the manner in which the licenses are granted raises a lot of concern. A few of the questions with regards to my statement is it proper and in compliance with the Mining Act that the process is supposed to be the mining warden hearing is conducted first to gauge the consent, the views and approval of the landowners. A report is then submitted to the Mining Advisory Board within 14 days. Then the minister is advised of the recommendations of the Mining Advisory Board to grant or not to grant the exploration license. Our people, generally in Papua New Guinea, in most cases, do not know the legal implications and the matters that will affect the landowners. Just like the SABLs that we had at one stage. Our people are in the dark. And so when you issue an exploration license, you're simply telling the people not to go into the bush and cut the bush down to make their gardens, not to go to their rivers and have some picnic and enjoy the rivers, because you've basically taken their rights and given it to one person. Mr. Assistant Speaker, an objection was filed just before the closure of the date. Just before the closure. My question is, what is the result of that objection filed by the landowners? And finally, if the process of granting the license was not followed or adhered to as stipulated in the Mining Act, will you cancel the exploration license and redo the process to comply with the Mining Act to protect our people's rights and the landowners' ownership of their resources and the land they call home? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Minister for Mining.
I take the good opportunity for this. I think two questions. One, to that details of that project, I must admit, it's the first time he's raising this project to me. I will check my department and come back as to the details. But on the particulars of one, two questions in relation to process in granting the EL and at the same time the warden's hearing. And Mr. Assistant Speaker, you made a very important question, point. One, oil and gas, mining, two, exploration is the backbone of these two industries. Without exploration, we can't do much because the cost of exploration is too much. And it's borne by most of the partners and the investors who come to carry that risk in trying to explore resources in this country. So that's in particular to exploration aspect and plenty time. All private company and investor, they carry that risk on their side. Now the process, as the good opposition leader knows, is quite clear. When they do an application, there must be a warden's hearing. And then after warden's hearing, as he said, it has to come to the Mining Advisory Committee, and then it comes to the Mining Minister in respect to exploration license. So as we, in 2 days ago, a question came from the Governor for Oro in relation to Mambare. Now that has happened because the process jumped MAC and came to the minister, which we had to reverse. So in relation to this, if it's correct that the facts that is raising that it has not gone through a warden's hearing, then I can assure the leader that we will have to cancel because the process is very clear that it has to go through a warden's hearing so that the landowners can give their consent that there is exploration happening in their land, and without forced entry or without any consent from landowners, local leaders, and provincial governments. So, one, if that is the case, then we will cancel. I can assure the leader that if that process was not followed, then we will cancel like all other programs we're doing to ensure that the process is followed. Number two, I confirm that the warden's hearing must happen before it comes to the MAC. And then it comes to the minister. It doesn't come straight to the minister to sign or whoever know it. That established process has been there for the last 50 years or so. So I can confirm in two of his questions that we will review, we'll check, and I will formally write to him as to the details of whether that process was followed or not. And if it was not, then we will take all measures to ensure that we cancel that EL that has not gone through that process. I take this time to also let the House know that under the initiatives of our government, we've been asked to review those processes, including if we have to give exploration licenses, instead of just giving in first come, first serve, we have to tender, do a public tender, which basically puts our licenses on the market. So whoever has capacity, who has money, who has good standing, international reputation, now get some license. Now, as it stands, our current regime is first come, first serve. Who said, man, you write in pass come, 1, 2, 3, star 4, mipla, give him so. And the Prime Minister's advice and the reforms we're doing in mining, we'll do a public tender. So after September 16, the next 50 years go forward, we do an international tender for all exploration licenses so that people can bid. Now, so through money, to a company can come to Sim exploration and they can start, and then state can come behind a partner or at the start of the project. So those reforms will come under the initiative of Nuclear Mining Act to bring them through. So all of us will have a say. But Assistant Speaker, I think this is Tupla. I will formally write to our good opposition leader. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Suave.
Trave. My question without notice goes to the good, hard-working Treasurer. Assistant Speaker, the Treasurer has publicly promoted the Marape government's fiscal consolidation strategy. So I would just like the Treasurer to announce in this Honourable House and to the people of Papua New Guinea, what's the current national debt stock for the country? Is it 65 billion kina? Is it 70 billion kina? If he can confirm and advise this Honourable House. And secondly, Mr. Assistant Speaker, if the good Treasurer could also announce what approach he's taking to generate revenue, and if he's got any big announcements, except for continuous borrowing after borrowing after borrowing. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Honourable Member for his two very important questions, most of which I have covered in several statements to this House. But nevertheless, I'll try to cover them again. Before I answer the question, could I also join my colleagues in this House to congratulate the Honourable Jimmy Mirintoro, my one soul, for his election as the member for Central Bougainville, and also acknowledge the member for North Fly for his appointment as Deputy Opposition Leader, and of course thank the outgoing Shadow Treasurer for his vigorous campaigns to keep or to hold the government to account. Mr. Speaker, the opposition role is very important. I've been there, many of us have been there, and we appreciate some of the work that they do. In relation to debt stock, where are we at with the debt stock at this point in time? I thank him for his very detailed questions. So let me try and get to where we are. Debt, Mr. Speaker, at this point in time for Papua New Guinea sits at a projected 65,547,000,000 kina projected for the end of this year. As I've mentioned many times on the floor already, this debt will peak at 66,759,000,000 next year. And as we all know, we have targeted 2027 as that first year when our government will produce a surplus budget, the first since 2010. From there until 2034, we will then start paying down debt. This is from our current 13-year plan, though there might be some amendments to be announced at the appropriate time. Moving towards that all-important 2034, when, and I word it very carefully, we will give the option, one of several options. We will give the government of the day an option to pay down all entire debt. Of course, as we know, like running a business, to maximize our returns on investment, or in our case, maximize the production of goods and services, we possibly would most probably look at a level of debt that is manageable for PNG, one that we can continue, on the one hand, repaying, as we have done consistently, but on the other hand, maximize the growth in our capital budget so that projects for our members can continue to increase. Another important point with our fiscal consolidation priority, Mr. Speaker, is not just reducing debt, but reducing debt as a share of our economy. So as we've said in the past, and for those in business, you would be aware, we don't always look at the debt of a business. We look at it as a share of a number of other metrics. One of them is the size of the business. So in this instance, Mr. Speaker...
Minister, you have a point of order. Honourable Governor, what is your point of order?
Just seeking some clarification in case I didn't hear the good treasurer properly. The treasurer said that one of the reasons why they might continue to borrow is so that they can continue funding projects for members. So I just wanted some clarification. Are the projects for the members or are the projects for the various districts and provinces in the country? Could you clarify that? Thank you.
I think, Honourable Governor, your point of order is out of order. Minister have to answer the question. What the Honourable member is asking. No. So, Minister, you can answer your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Governor can, of course, ask a supplementary, but since he has, the short answer is it's for districts, not members. So he can be assured. District and, of course, provinces. So, Mr. Speaker, as I was saying, when we talk about debt, we should not just talk about the quantum, the amount of debt, but look at it as a share of our business, or in our case, a share of our economy. That gives you a very, very good insight and reassurance that you can continue to repay that debt. So when we look at our debt as a share of our economy, whilst our debt peaks next year, the good news is that our debt to GDP, our debt as a share of our economy, has continued to reduce. So for this year, our debt as a share of our GDP is projected to be 47.9%. And whilst it peaks and increases to 66 billion next year, debt as a share of our economy reduces to 45%. That's a really, really important point, and has been decreasing since we've taken office.
You have a point of order.
Mr. Assistant Speaker,
Honourable members for Suave, what is your point of order?
My point of order, Mr. Assistant Speaker, is the Treasurer cannot take credit for global commodity prices that have improved the revenue for our commodities. He can't take credit for it. I want to know what revenue interventions that he's made that will ensure that we can effectively repay debt and reduce the overall national debt stock that he's proudly just announced. Thank you.
Honourable members, in trying to answer your question, so Minister, you can summarize the question.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. If only I'm given the chance to answer these questions, then there's no need to interject. Mr. Speaker, yes, you're looking for what plans we have to increase revenue. I'm trying to answer your first question. Before I even answer that, you interrupted me to answer the second. So, Mr. Speaker, in relation to that very important question, which I think is the third time now he's asked me, and probably the seventh time I've been asked that particular question, what plans do we have, or does the government have, to increase revenue? And The answer to that, Mr. Speaker, we did launch, or I launched on behalf of the government, Marape Rosso, our 5-year medium-term revenue strategy back in 2023. This plan sets out in a comprehensive detail what we're doing to achieve growth in revenue. On the tax side, the 2025 budget provides a massive increase in funding to the IRC, including allowing them to put more staff in provinces to help crack down on stores and businesses not paying GST or tax. We're funding a new tax administration system called ITAS, which will help IRC properly keep track of taxpayer records, what they owe us, and what we owe in refunds. And that's an area I know that we need to implement a lot more effectively, given the large complaints we've received from the private sector. We're also funded a new GST monitoring system, which will let the IRC see at point of sale what GST should be owed, and determine where in the country that GST is raised, information which we never used to have, or at least online, and help provide real-time data on the financial status of taxpayers before they file their returns. This new system has worked very well in countries like Fiji in lifting revenues. We've also introduced a new Income Tax Act, the first time since 1959. A project that, yes, started with the previous government, was a good initiative, and it's taken us, I think, 4.5 years in our government, with the help of much technical assistance from international partners, including the IMF, which will simplify the tax system, helping businesses more easily figure out depreciation of assets, for example. We've also, and at the same time, it will help taxpayers to have a more simplified tax system, including for small businesses, with the production of a small or smaller business tax. On the non-tax side, our plan to increase revenue, we have a new Non-Tax Revenue Act, which is helping us collect a fair share from statutory authorities. And in this regard, Mr. Speaker, we've introduced a new dividend policy for the state, details of which I will attempt to table here on this Parliament, that will detail the increased revenue that we get that we're currently not. People doubted that we could achieve our ambitious growth targets for GOP&G revenues. But, Mr. Speaker, the fact is, since 2019, we have increased government revenue by 101%. We've doubled revenue, Mr. Speaker. That's from 11.9 billion in 2019 to a projected 23.9 billion this year. That's the plan, Mr. Speaker. Stay with us, work with us, support us, and together let's keep increasing revenue, increasing our budget, and we can all benefit together. That's our districts and provinces. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, asking me to talk 45 minutes. Honorable members, you may got a grievance debate. Honorable member for above.
Mr. Speaker, I think we really are having problem with this timing issue. We don't know exactly what time is left. So can we go back to these things? It just doesn't work. But we need to move extension of time if we know that there's only 1 minute left.
Honorable members, Honorable Governor, resume your seat. The chair, like apologize for some. You may get time at up long all screen, long all TV. The time you may use him as past time longer and I mean no work, but chair losing thing also by me announce him the floor. At Memino took seven, I apologize for this. After this, I think by or can fix him time. Honorable members, you may get a grievance debate. Honorable Governor for ECP.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Grievance blomilo tete, me like screwing the league go long. Talk where. Good pla treasurer make him na. I talk also you may got plenty money in. I good plan. Same time too, all LLG presidents Lumibla only harim around him country also. Treasurer talk you may got plenty money, record money.
Ward councillor.
Or ward councillor too harim. So grievance Lumia also. Time Miblai bin Kisim. Final budget outcome ikam long treasurer. Now this la budget debate and come up low, sample behind time. Grievance Blumia also. Time me current this book go back na me lulug longem. This all number where treasurer me talk also. Me play making payment, go pinis long all different all entities, now all province, now all district. I mean no reconcile one time actual case and me come down. So look sabe Blumia also me got some difference number long all warrants where treasurer is our racing. Na actual case where finance is paid. Now somehow this la tupla sa tok namelo tupla ya.
And that's all.
So time tupla tok. Now one bla minister karim. One bla complicated report also final budget outcome or this la media my for report come. Time only kisim become na put him long floor. Mipla sa got time to reconcile him whether I'm behind him actual case or not. Now I'm bringing Narpla point now. This media, my for report, I'm supposed to come now to this parliament where me place supposed to kiss him. One kind two also delay been stopped lo final budget outcome you go triple moon or get I know behind him law. Now me come late lo parliament. The members in no got time lo redeem, no got time long debating. Now one kind two now. My for report, I mean, no come up where I'm supposed to come up with this session of parliament. So, me like, Tromem this talk go side lo management lo country. Suppose this kind of information, na me talk pisin because no good me English na planiman be foul. So me must talk pisin so that people too can understand. Suppose this law information, I mean, stop lo hand law, respective department lo government na all no come na put in lo parliament lo right time. Mibla leaders and Mibla operators and Molong no. Mibla no napsabe. Now this law information, me no understand why all in non lo bianim law na kisimi kam lo parliament lo time blonge. so that he can give him opportunity lo ogara leader establish house lo look long. You know, me opposition to solve by look. Plenty of minister we run him department. All two you know look sim money long running all department long also. All can look him display information and try and understand him why. One kind two all member we only like running all district programs long all na I know got money. As that all sabla line all workman lo government come na only hand him checks long all got a member lo backside. Let me understand also, maybe like an electronic payment system where enough lo only remit him desla money go straight lo provincial government. You know private check lo alat bed na ipla kam na give me lo backside. Then you me running on something taka book so private business blow me. I think it's demeaning for members of parliament to be collecting checks in the members chamber. I mean no good la passing. You mean got electronic payment system stuff where you should sell him straight to the province. You can give me check lo, but me karim can igona. Give him lo administrator lo by deposit him can. There seems to be an ad hoc way of managing the country, which I can see with the way Treasury and Finance are doing their business. Now, while I appreciate that these monies are for the people of East Sepik, me no like lo me at me karim sla check na igodan. Me no couscous. Me got plenty couscous is stop long province and walk long. One kind two all Narbla province na district. You got couscous na district Tresrana. That's like an old money stuff and walk long. So, ask him blow me also. Suppose lo next report by come lo final budget outcome long, hopefully lo March next year. Me like looking one bla reconcile report na me lo treasury na finance. Because while treasury M can come na talk, oh look at me walking walk blow me. All get a warrant me writing pennies. You blow all get a kissing money. But then we find that provinces haven't received the funds. We find that the TFF hasn't been paid to the schools. We find that the PHAs also not see money belong all operate. So make him na force him member, all leaders belong ECP, me sit down long. Last November na me use him DSIP long by Marasinken. Whereas this la money I'm supposed to either go long health department lo buy Marasin or this la money I'm supposed to go long PHA lo buy Marasin. Only no kissing money. So me use him this la DSIP money, PSIP money. Where I'm supposed to mipla working all development law when I'm kind of project number those and not so treasury talk all project law member. Mipla kirap na use him desla money lo by Marasinken. So time me harim treasury mi talk all same. Mipla collecting record funding. Mi oklo skelim lo mi desla money am go. One platok pisini talk all same planting money straight record windfall double 100%, 200%, kind percent. That's what mipla no looking. Usai ti looking. Deslam treasury yad looking mo, finance minister yad looking mo. Executive government tas all looking na. Mipla all kada narna by also monem. Mipla by staff lo tutak na operate also. So, thank you.
Governor is masquerading on the other side. He knows very well, and that's for the public consumption and the use of social media that is masquerading. The final budget outcome is clearly establishes disbursements last year. Final budget outcome was released already. He wants to talk about MIFO. You ask the treasurer, when is MIFO coming? MIFO is media for this year's use of fund. You talk about last year, the point of reference is final budget outcome 2024. It is there, public record. Look at the disbursement. It talks about East Sepik not receiving TFF. I'll stand up here next week to tell exactly how much East Sepik received for TFF last year. So don't just mouth off as if you have the statistics before you. When you talk about last year, look at FBO last year. I just want leaders to be conscious of using this privilege here to talk on assumptions and permeate this public space with negativity than reality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Prime Minister, your...
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. I think I'm good laws and Prime Minister, I'm concerned, I'm sanap na mito. Thank you, Longen. To be quite honest, Mr. Assistant Speaker, me biniguantap na me inform him treasurer also. 110 million we am talk infrastructure grant come long isipik. Bin come, I'm laugh now, I'm sorry. So me been asking penis na me come na me walk in this pla when I'm so. Contrary to what our good Prime Minister is saying, I'm not misleading the House. I know my facts because I've done my homework. Also, here. So, with respect, I think the members of this honorable House deserve to know what is actually happening. You know, good Bulolo, you tromem hap talk lawyer na talk ose mi pla kisi wan bla monina. Bian mi pla by go back na check what in treasury blo mi pla. And when we go and we actually find out that the funds didn't come, then mi pla by come back in na mi pla by finding treasurer knock lodo blong ringing finance minister. We cause all kinds of headaches for these two ministers. So all I'm asking for is a reconciliation, because my understanding when I read the the final budget outcome. Now, Prime Minister, I'm correct. Final budget outcome emlo last year. Maifo emlo this year. Me not talk also tupla same report. One talks about the past. One is indicating where we are going.
He's not correcting himself. Exactly correcting himself. When he said last year we didn't receive any funding, and I point to him correctly, Maifo is this year, and last year is final budget outcome. It's already released to public.
Mr. Prime Minister, me no making ruling law point of order yet, now you give speech. You can make a point of order.
Already, thank you.
Honorable Governor, debate you law budget and staff law, outcome law, notice paper law, our final budget outcome, law 153. So, you know, debate law, the budget law.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me, I'm a maslo. Talk blow you the sol. Time me, trome talk me looking more minister to not na misa or some more one bell na. Thank you, long. You straight me.
Member for East, Northeast.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Melek debate digli long ground issue. Before me debate, Melek top thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, na Minister Lawrence. Lord, this lobby last time me person. Those are some of the impediments, Lord, development in the country. So this modern electronic system, maybe a person be last year, and by helping plenty, road location ground investors, two by feeling comfortable, Lord, easy, Lord, being in process, location ground, now working development. Blowing the country. That's all the process like some ground too, easy. M1 blah hardware road. So this is a new system that has to be introduced. Then we come up low and I'm like operate. Structure and a workman Department of Lanes must also restructuring in a way that modern electronic system must work. Now, location ground too, some mibla, kissing through the customary land, where mibla kissing, he got deal, also mibla buy sign a legal agreement, mibla karim go killing the side, one of ground mibla like kissing, and then mibla go process. Block Kishim household lease where customary title or what they call it, certificate of title. Maybe I go through LTC, Land Title Commission. Maybe I go hearing, maybe I Kishim. Section 10 Land Act. That is now, you like talk about the proper ground, when not selling ground. That's all you talk here, that's all outside of this house. Papa ground wogla salimit. You may look at section 100. Local acquisition of government. Now you make a 3% ground in the country. Na city blow you must be city blow you lay. Na provincial headquarters too. All the party ground. How are we going to extend our boundary of our provincial headquarters? Na lo city lo here na lo lay. Na igola Hagen na igola Kokopo. So 3% I mean enough. So government by me working on him. There are customary land available. So you may start focus na look kism all this la. Before online believe me, buy go kism legal block 400 square meter, 500 square meter, or you go end up more of 1 hectare. So government must look strong. Law increasing this like 10%, 3%, you go end up 10% or even 20%. Because plan the governor blowing me today, you know we look him, they want to develop their provinces. Not district too. But I also want to appeal to the districts, now provinces too. You must know your boundary of the land. Boundary block district headquarters blow you. Boundary block provincial headquarters blow you. Now the city too, maybe one kind. 14 miles down to Bautama. Now this la ring road, I mean complete. Maybe one time Governor Mr. Bak said, maybe complete him. The city ring road is to be completed. One kind also, you must extend him this 3%, you go under long 10% or that. Any development come behind you, kitchen ground finish. Now God, you miss out of white paper now, line family blame me. All the stuff finish the ground now. You mean like selling white paper eviction? White paper is very dangerous in outside the city. Because time white paper come all money in the street. All school beginnings are go walk, law school. And all power mama in the go walk. And all are in Masini come by eviction come. Last 3 months ago, one black ground for education. Thank you, Minister for Education. Before Education Minister, me ask him, to give me. Lord 9 mile. Makana igolo Morabe Wadana. Portion 1006, 42 hectares, total of 25,000 people living on that land. Me wakla forest also Mbeka was a bushora. And then me ask him, Minister, with consultation with the Prime Minister and Lands Minister, do education have a long-term plan to develop that area? Because some ground is about education. Now I'm asking Minister to time we write a letter, he will always long end. He got planned by staff, no got that, so now currently got no plan, but time we go drive, we go look at him, there's a lot of people living there. And they spend so much money. And in previous parliament session, I think, Attorney General Mibla title here because state land illegal settlers go stop and up. Okay, if it's a state land, when are you going to develop it? Is it going to be a state land for another 10 or 20 donkey years? If it's under education, or if it's under commerce and industry, or MSW NAC, like me asking question asked, the answer was not favorable, but the answer was still lagging. I still need a good concrete answer. Aerodrome boundary land. aerodrome and reserve land for further development, but you cannot say Kori, an institution down there, section 2965. Same postal number established Malala Estate. Same postal number established Jackson Airport. Same postal number established Koni. Postal 2965. Before calling postal 1229 airport, aerodrome. Behind legislature 34, 37. Now again, he got 2965. Postal number was changed close to. That's why I'm challenging Lands Minister and Airport Corporation to look into the real meaning of aerodrome. And Aerodrome Act, and stopped us all. Look, Gazettal 2010. I'm considering ground to go outside again. If it's compulsory acquired by the government, you should have native land dealing, and there's a number there. And to acquire customary land to state land dealings, you got 12 plus steps of following. So we didn't even start one yet, and then you compulsory acquiring. Government is wrong. In the name of development, compulsory acquisition. Yes, of course we are right, but the native landowner must be respected. Now you may get a losing place they come. And then when you go to election now, Nubla, Chairman Honorable Russell Warwick. And then now I'm talking about by Luke Saul and native landowner and fight stronger ground. You may too, you may government must look sour and respect where one of them belong. So me appeal you program members. If you got a district, you must demarcate your district. You may got lands department section below, urbanization stuff. Carry me go to district blue, and all by survey, not district blue must have planning too. One kind of submit la governor walk him that's all. Lo Bautama, you got central government. Walk talk, Mibla walk talk. But when we keep on fighting like this, who else is going to come to tomorrow and develop the land? Ground is still a development, must progress. So Mibla governor walk talk this last up. Mibla way of in Bautama, Egamla 14 mile, now the city road is going to complete. And then Mibla 7 finish. And settlement tower program will go. So people will move all line stuff, very low city area. We are going to move them out to 49 mile and Paria. Now Paria 2 mixing title finished. So now we start a physical planning, we'll give them approval so that water, basic, water, road, power, and Masiolo, this lab. Before independence, we like give some title. Also, I appeal provincial members, districts, also look at your area, your districts, so that you can survey your area. Now you must at least, you got combo, no good, but you pipe gain on the proper ground. All the move become close to because all established city, all established town.
Honorable member for notice, your time is up. You may resume your seat.
Thank you.
Honorable member for Yalabu Pangia.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Thank you, True Law. You are giving me time, Law, to talk about this grievance debate. Me no got plenty grievance, but two play issues as well. Firstly, issue law ICAC. Prime Minister Emiet Sawe, there's la work law kirabim ICAC start law government law yumi law before. Mipla I pass him first reading, nikam na. Government belum marape, biar ti pass him second and third reading, I make kerap him display work. But bulk of the work was done during our government, and I know why we established this organization, Mr. Speaker. And we play organization because plenty of agencies, the government, look at him law and order, and issues like corruption and all something were highly compromised in our country, whether it's Ombudsman Commission or whether it's police or all this kind of work, all agencies in Aplo addressing this law issue. Work law being compromised, so ICAC was established, Mr. Speaker. Now you may look him law daily issues come up law social media and a public debate. Law work law ICAC work law ego stop. Work law ICAC it got issue with more leadership inside this organization. We play no one group talk sour law government where one of them kind talked about come up in the peninsula. Because there's an organization, we didn't want influence from outside going into that organization so that M can work without fear or favor. Now, in good law, you may carry more man outside the camera work inside this organization. Now, you may look also this organization, or man outside the work law fight will come. So, me appeal to government, you have a duty to the nation to safeguard this organization. Now, you must, I think, relook him something you may know straight him good. And one blah this like appointments committee meeting also, you must also, you may yet, you may all leaders, no, all politicians law outside of that committee. So I can build him confidence to go inside law organization, public can believe in it. Now, two law side may look him also, there's la triple commissioners. You may appoint him Lenny all yet work law fight go come. Box him arrest warrant go come law all yet. That's like me undermine him work law this organization completely because of lack of leadership. Now you may not blow come the current all this man blow outside we only got tribal reputation number blow yet. Now come law here and you may carry him legally arrest warrant blow me around or say me play politics here. We need to be very careful, you know. We live in a global changing society. All man law outside to work law you me. Some of the time you me yet so working bagra pasinna. Now all man in the believe lo you me, Mr. Speaker. So me like appeal law government. Suppose you may need law change him law, you may change him law. Why can't we give immunity to these commissioners so they are not intimidated and threatened? Em all man you may carry me lo sawe blow law working work ni me carry me na point mo. In law working work blow you me lo outline lo tribe blow you me et lo place blow you me. So me like appeal lo government lo look sawe lo desla. Now, number two grievance blow me like Sroki Mosem to talk about Trasla today. Me am also some talk some GDP blow you may grow, but yet now you may okata sawe. Grow because plenty or good price mixing blow something in Salem land. I'm in a wrong, I'm good pla, me pla mas, but there's like kind of price by enough stop lombla time. So Trasla me too sawe. Em sawe glassy more pepper piniso. Em sawe lo this la movement blow prices go come. But concern blow me lo to talk lo appropriation. Now you may stop lo 8 moon lo display here. Now me like some plan the talk sawe lo provinces inside the country or some plan the basic services work lo collapse. Now, me appeal to government one time treasurer, na prime minister, na all relevant departmental ministers. Lo glassy modus la toto golman meri working lo place na o katap lo country. All you talk also provincial grants in go upside. So blah blah all receiving only 40% to date. Now you meet somewhere, how can the province function with that kind of money? So suppose treasury talk also money will come pull up na me am also some tax office you work some record revenue. Please directly me go all these la provinces. So only can look at him all basic services la province. Yeah. Second issue, lo sem Minnesota you blow some member, but me looking mo sem. Me come up with some funeral director now. Because as karaya work lo give me a day close to. Plan the up, okay the man work lo die. Only die close to. So me ask him, why no work lo die? And me work him some like findings around. Me look so and plan the all medical supply stores. Me no got medicine. No got medicine na. Some instruction come lo. All big one or some only must use some operational funds lo buy medicine or something. So look also plan the house ki short lo money lo buy medicine. So suppose allocation lo house na all this layout department in go please. Suruki mari up so they can buy medicine na look at him line blame me. Mipla lo lik money lo DSIP mipla tram lo support iko na mipla sort with okay. Minnesota lo Narbla districts na provinces but mipla reality mipla facing land bito. Na two lo issue lo education. All school now talk lo threatening me lo passing all school, Mr. Speaker. Because all sim TFF lo time. Again, in budget appropriation, we work him.
Grievance debate. Member for Yalbupangia, we have a point of order. Minister for Education, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Mr. Nonoyan, I'm here also some TFF for government free education policy. No, all schools are government. Talk, I'm government. 2024, all the funds full money blow free education policy blow government and fully paid. Yeah. 2025, first 2 terms fully paid. This term, this week, all the funds are remitted to the school accounts now. Please, all the members, you may correct me, you may address me. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister for Education. Your point of order is in order. Member for Yalbupangia, you may resume your debate.
Mipla inok money na mipla talk sawe. So, but mipla ask him all the right lo you na you look him. But suppose you give him all this money go na law appropriation lo budget na you look sawe. Mipla mas lo this law you working man. But some time reality on the ground is different from what you say, Minister. One kind of law and order na all Narbla department too. So totok lo email lo this la grievance also. Please, money you me totok lo makim lo budget na you me totok len. Salamigo. So these basic services, health, education, law and order na all this la it can function. I mean law and order, you look local up lo country. Now you look him also.
Member for Yalbupangia, point of order. Minister of Health, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, they relate to what the member for Yalabu said about medical supplies, medical supplies in our country. Our government allocated 294 million kina to medical supplies in 2025 appropriation. To date, the government has released 172 million kina. That's 58% with the total appropriation. That's the latest from the department. And from our records, this funding is actually gone to and through the medical supply system. And the funding is not a problem at the moment, according to our records. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister for Education, Health. Your point of order is in order. Member for Yalbupangia, you may conclude your debate.
Thank you. Through all some money, you must give him good plan. Me must lo totok blow Minister blow Health. I think, Speaker, I think you should add 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes to total time blow me. Because all this point of order there will cut him time blow me. But also, lo finish him totok. Also, law and order, you look in plan the abuse, murder, na kind of person will look him up. Kidnapping, rape, tribal fighting, all that. Now, look at police exhausted. They can't find their way to go there. All the work, run, log up, country, ask him Chinaman, buy fuel. That is the reality we are facing. Stop kidding yourself. If we have budgeted for this, just release the funds so that these departments and organizations and agencies can function. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Member for Goroka.
Mr. Assistant Speaker, Ms. Anabloyalo, debate law on issue I'm affecting all people of Malaysian Islands, especially Goroka, but also I think you me too got planting in islands, and probably numbers to want them. Mr. Acting Speaker, this issue I mean like Toto Clement concerning this cheap beer, where now I'm distributing in country stuff. But before me to talk about this, Mr. Acting Speaker, me like talk long law where I'm governing distribution of alcohol, sale of alcohol, compliance issue of alcohol. Lo country now me looking you make at 7 legislation or 7 act guiding this distribution of this issue of alcohol. First one, PNG Customs Act. Second one, Food and Sanitation Act. Third one, Liquor Licensing Act. Fourth one, Packaging Act. Fifth one, Liquor Miscellaneous Provision Act. Sixth one, Excise Tariff Act. Mr. Acting Speaker, and this act where you may creating this parliament, even before independence, you may be animal this law you come. Lo guiding this issue or this product where you may salim in country blow me beer. Me blaga big issue now in town blow me Logoroka and all mangis drink this cheap beer also call him and one product blow beer I'll call him Knight's beer. This Knight's beer and talk fishing blongam. Now you got no talk fishing stuff. Before also talk lig money big plus spark. Now Logoroka me plus I call him lig rain big plus Q. So me been conducting one blood test. Thank you, the provincial government, Blomi. Someone here want them. Lo one blood alcohol product, lo this company, Trade Winds Company. Named this product Scotch whiskey, 330 milliliters. Lo packaging, lo label longam and put him 58% alcohol. Time me blood karim go Unitech, na me blood test him. The actual alcohol content inside was 330 ml was 30.34% alcohol volume. Narabla beer again, same product, same company. It's called the Knight's Dark Rum. Again, long canteen all put in 58.8% alcohol volume. When we took it down to Unitech, Namibla testing, it was 36.8% alcohol volume. The third one, genuine vodka. Again, on the label it says 5.8% alcohol. When we took it down to Unitech for testing, it was 39.4% alcohol volume. That's the amount of alcohol volume our youths are drinking, and we sit here and complain about law and order because we are not legislating this very important product. We have 7 different acts dealing with alcohol. We don't have a act that is monitoring this product law alcohol comes into the country from the manufacturing stage up to compliance issue of alcohol, go inside law or money consuming alcohol. At the moment, Mr. Speaker, Acting Speaker, this alcohol is causing big law and order issue in Salo Goroka, in Salo Eastern Islands. The triple state of origin and me all in triple people fight inside Goroka district alone. Me not only Narabla district, but Mitolo Goroka district alone. And we are still solving this, all because of this issue of alcohol. Now, big recent activity, recent fights come up in town inside Goroka, all caused by alcohol. Concern me, na me like normal flow with
You must have one law, one plus strong legislation to deal with alcohol and tobacco. At the moment, we have so many laws, and it's so convoluted that we don't understand. You mean when law, but the perpetrators who said, "Yaman, Salimol, big alcohol volume, or picnic blow, you mean a bagarabi, we can't take them to justice now." How can we take them to justice? So, time people are finding us and this law. Time people are prosecuting this company. The only law that we can use to prosecute this company is under the Packaging Act for lying to the people of this country. Under the Packaging Act, we can talk you gammon because you put in 5.8% alcohol, but when we did a test, it's 30%. We can only sue them for that. But the underlying issue, I'm still stopped yet. Man kisim sick, go lao sick. Man kisim trouble, pull up the police station and passing police station, deal want to more big issues. I think that it's a good present by me, give people blow me, lo save more young people blow me, go the next 50 years, if this parliament can put a good legislation, lo controlling the use of alcohol, controlling the use of alcohol companies, now tobacco companies, inside the country blow me, so that in the next 50 years, all young people blow me, all can stop good. Now, care of this country where you may like him. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Debate blow me.
Deputy Opposition Leader.
Speaker, thank you, Assistant Speaker Luksawe. Debate blow me by me making, but before me making debate blow me like making some observation. Now, through Assistant Speaker, some house rule you may need to be him, not tidy him up. Punctuality blow me, punctuality blow me la house. It is becoming obvious that over the time you become the parliament around 11 o'clock, where time the house standing orders, it talk you must start long 10 o'clock. Now it has been a culture in PNG that this house continue to not practice. It shows a clear example of you may know through leader you may start long punctuality. So me asking through you, Assistant Speaker, or this a debate or some. You must tidy him up this government. You must come on time. That you must debate good time. That you must out. And punctuality, very, very important. Why are we doing this all the time? Now, me asking through Tasol, Lord, is a debate too, and house full, 45 minutes question time. You may end up increasing go long 60 minutes. So that you make enough quality time that you make an asking question. Suppose standing orders, you make a sentence. Narula house tidy up, so rule them, may observe them, you know got control long outside money presentation. Either a question or a response. Me feel also masigat one control, you may need to put in the front, the speaker, masigat button. Suppose money abrusim plenty talk. Abrusim plenty minute lo talk. Speaker must stop him. Not talk as a time blow you up. Plenty time you may drag him, talk. This layer you may lose him. Plenty man to talk or repeat it. I mean no tidy. So let's fix this. Also some house rule me tram to talk before we make him debate blow me. Debate blow me. He go back long. Time Prime Minister blow you me in his office. Law 2019. The meeting was at fabric, something you must correct it. Before you may enter 50 years, which is 46 days away, by you may arrive on Christmas 50. And this thing that I want us to correct, and through this debate, is our Christian faith. You may get longan. Mr. Assistant Speaker, Prime Minister Kisim office for 2019, time me unseat him PNC government where he was part of. And back then, as soon as he took office, it is our Christian belief where me present before the people of the country, time the Christian only stop na talk. He made an announcement publicly to case and put him. Now that has been a Christian concern all through 8 years up until now. So the point I'm trying to bring into the debate is that we are 46 days away before the Christian 50 years by me enter. Me feel also Prime Minister must rush him this like case and been walking. Why I say that is because
Deputy Opposition Leader, we have a point of order. Prime Minister, what's your point of order?
Thank you. Me like correcting Mr. notion that case equal country, you know, case equal country. Deputy Opposition Leader, me raise him good law point. On the Repentance Day, law 2019, we pronounced case on the practice of corruption. Practice of corruption, that's totally different from case to the country. For those who practice corruption, and if you look at the full text of that pronouncement, I said pronounce the case also to me and my family. So what do you expect the leader of the country to do? To allow and not condemn corruption? We pronounce case to those who practice corruption in our country, and that stands. The country is never cast. The country will never be cast. Thank you.
Prime Minister, Deputy Opposition Leader, Prime Minister, point of order is in order. Resume your debate.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. I think that the Prime Minister, probably in our Christian principles, that is wrong because when you are in authority, God uses the divine intervention, uses you, the office that you hold. So either it's a family member or you, whoever is holding the office, you are in charge of that authority. So either way that comes out of your mouth, a tongue, the way that you say, has an implication. So let me give some background. In 2000, why I say this because in 2015, we brought a 400-year-old Bible, King James Version, sits right in front of us. And never forget that. That was a symbol of unity and Christian principle by behind him inside the house. On Man Mary celebrate. Recently, in 2 months ago or 3 months ago, this house, this very house, this government brought a Christian bill, which we have passed, and that is on record. And the way of a practice that we do here must be by principle of Christian. So what the point I'm trying to bring here is that before we journey the next 50 years, we got to correct this one very little mistake that the highest office of this country has done. And because if you catch anything, the divine intervention is through you, the Prime Minister. So over the heavy you work lo karimya, you work lo painim hard lo ronim country. The case is there. You have spoken. You have said it. So what we are saying is you need to publicly withdraw that. And that's what I'm trying to bring here. The Christians out will believe with me. And that's what they say. Whichever way and form you have cast it, you need to publicly apologize and say sorry through. 46 days before you meet entire next 50 years, we need to say that.
Deputy Opposition Leader, we have a point of order. Minister for Health, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I was with the Prime Minister on that particular day when he made that comment. Let those who practice corruptions in our country be cursed. So, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, you ask the Prime Minister to withdraw his talk so that we can continue to corrupt or allow corruption to be part of our system in our country. How are you asking him to talk or revision talk here? Talk so that we must be fearful to do what is right in our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister for Health. Your point of order is in order. Deputy Opposition Leader, resume your debate.
Thank you. Before me continue the debate, Lumil or corrective minister, one the Prime Minister, I'll just repeat what he said, but I will put on record and play the exact voice and the video that the Prime Minister said it in his mouth.
Occupying every public office I pray for cares to anyone occupying every public office from the highest in Prime Minister's office.
Deputy Opposition Leader, resume your seat. There's a point of order. Minister for Petroleum, What's your point of order?
Assistant Speaker, this is a total joke. How can you bring recordings here and play it on an honourable house like this? We never gave him leave to do that. There's no leave given to him to come and play this recording in this house. Shame on him. He should ask the members of parliament whether he get leave to allow him to play a recording like that. No, but we have to pass a motion. He should take that back. We should censure him. Thank you, Speaker.
Clerk. Resume your seat, Minister for Attorney General. Minister for Petroleum, your point of order is in order. Deputy Opposition Leader, I would ask you to withdraw this from your debate and from the answered, and you may resume your debate.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. I seek leave to tender this record in this debate, and it be placed on record here.
Is leave granted? No, have it. Leave is not granted. Minister for Justice and Attorney General, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, he should ask the Labour Parliament before play the tape. What he did is contrary to this Parliament. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I move that he be referred to the Privileges Committee.
Minister for Justice and Attorney General, your point of order is out of order. We have rectified this issue, and we have the ruling has been made. The ruling is the motion is not granted. The leave is not granted. Deputy Opposition Leader, you may conclude your debate.
Thank you, through Mr. Assistant Speaker. The truth. When there is a truth, it's very hurtful. Bible stop place clear. You may not come Giaman Kusai lo here. You must talk straight. Plenty of you miss come Giaman lo here. Me must talk you blah. Bible is not here. 400-year-old Bible you may carry come. You may have come booking nothing. I am trying to tell all of us. Let's do that horrible thing. Practice by way of principle. Christian principles, believe me. Preambles, country, believe me. Christian principles of start. Every time you miss a camp, Giaman Kusai, Mr. Speaker, I think you will agree with me in this. Very bad. It has been a culture and a practice in this house.
Time for your grievance debate is up. You may resume your seat.
Thank you.
Minister for Education.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker, for giving me time to debate, contribute to this grievance debate. Just recently, you may are in Deputy Opposition Leader to go to you must talk through. So, me like talk through the Parliament, the people of Papua New Guinea education, the investments of the government making education inside of the country. Since independence, you may work law following one the system where I'm producing 2/3 school dropouts in the country. Bila ko think yellow maravilloso government law, big interventions law, law setting correcting the road, then you may be in trouble on.
Minister for Education, we have a point of order. Member for Suave, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My point of order is in line with parliamentary convention. The minister can bring in a ministerial statement in due course. A lot of us lowly backbenchers and members have grievances, and he's taking up our time. Thank you.
Member for Chuhave, your point of order is out of order. Minister for Education is a member of Parliament, and he has the right to have his chance to have his grievance debate on the floor of Parliament. Minister for Education, you may resume.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Grievance debate, somebody all the time talk na taking each other. Some good as I'm come up with Parliament. When the ministry we must talk all people who country blame in to the Parliament as well. Then what's some now? Milk talk some education investment by Marape Rosso government instead of education we will try and correct him the system where maybe been since independence where country education system and producing 2/3 school dropouts. So on the policy, we will make him talk some, we will talk raising minimum education qualifications in the country up to grade 12. Now, you may make him plan the pathways available. Like we're speaking, you can go through the normal school system from elementary all the way to grade 12. Or for those, for whatever reason, will drop out of grade 12 in between, can go through the FOD, or go through the vocational education school, or TVET, just to obtain a grade 12 certificate. So that then by meeting minimum education qualification as grade 12 certificate. Now, on top of that, government themselves and all parents, Papa Mama, or country, so facing problem, the school fees. So the government, in the past, all using Kankan, TFF, GDFS, or school subsidy. But this year and last year, we are paying full school fees, so we are changing the name of government free education policy, where all beginning or primary or beginning or paying any fees in terms of paying to the school, like tuition fee or to project fees. Also, now go school nothing from elementary all the way to grade 12, and beyond grade 12, we look at STEM students who said now go school America, India, China, Fiji, then government fully paying school scholarships, all go to full government scholarship. Now coming back to the disbursement of school fees, Honorable Deputy Assistant Speaker, now honorable leaders, this disbursement of school fee funds are made to the school accounts. So if you may not looking money, school fee funds come to attention, the funds are remitted directly to the school accounts. For some reason, or some of the school accounts will get problem on the banks. So for those schools, funds will not go easy, or until we fix them up all account loan. Otherwise, government and meeting commitment loan, lo budget run, no pay school fees, or funds made available on fully come through and we will pay them. As soon as we receive, we pay it out to the school accounts. For this year, we play some of the system of current party where it's a cost of providing education service. Some of the schools country blame me, I'm so remote that them costing more providing the education service. Now some of the schools instead of urban areas them costing less of providing. So in the past, all funds were remitted equally. But for this year, we've been in a model so that those schools in the remote areas like Karamue or some of those places are working more. Just because to meet them, the transport cost of moving all material, school material schools blown. And for this year, also me raising my point of order, and I'm talking for this year, 850 million allocated for school fees funds. Each term we are remitting 220 million to the school accounts. Dividing into how much each school gets would really depend on how many students are enrolled in each school. Now, so part of the policy law, make him grade 12 school certificate, the minimum education qualification in the country. Now we may go back to 166 policy, where we keep the students in the classroom for the full 13 years. And we've done all with the selection or school dropout system in grade 6. This year, starting in some of the selected provinces, grade 8 school leavers, we want to have grade 8 schools, school dropouts. And starting 2027, we want to have grade 10 dropouts. This is so that it falls in line with the idea to give, to make education qualification in the country up to a minimum of grade 12 school certificate. Let me talk a little about STEM. STEM education. Look up and one of the good initiative that the government some come forward. Or beginning by me go school America, the first pilot students, 42 of them go to America, 42 or 43 go to America, and we'll make them go through. Now, all some academic awards, the universities will go through. 50% of them will some academic awards. America. Basing on that, all China and India are looking at some about 100 students you may go to China and India. Me no visit them India or visit them all smart India, but me get opportunity to visit them all smart in blame lo. Three got this damn university of China. Now the three got this damn China three got this university and training all engineers. Now me lucky lo round one and two professors lo engineer lo de la school. Now Mr. Deputy Speaker, me proud to talk about some two professors talking me. Also Martin Blamy studying engineering law de la three gorgeous university in the top 5%. This interventions by the government make it the opportunity to talk to public, honorable leaders, to the people of Papua New Guinea. We are doing something. Maybe we should have done it a long time ago, but after 50 years, you may walk in, and this government is doing that. So this government is actually investing in education, and education will drive changes in this country. and our students were attending prestigious universities in America, India, and China are doing well. So let's not write us off. Writing you made off. Sometimes you must talk thank you for the good work that we are doing. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Member for Aba.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. My grievance will be a very short one because it's going to be on a very specific subject. And I want the good Minister for Health to take note. It is on the subject of diabetes in Papua New Guinea. According to the International Diabetes Federation figures, the incidence of diabetes increased by 85% from 2011 to 2024. 85% increase is an unbelievable expansion of diabetes. They estimate that approximately over 800,000 citizens in our country are living with diabetes. Therefore, I want to debate, and I will request the Honourable Minister for Health to take immediate action, and that is that with other communicable diseases like high blood pressure, heart attack, cancer, etc., diabetes is now becoming what we call, in the technical language, a public health issue in the country. Diabetes is now a public health issue, and therefore it must be treated equivalent to those issues that are classified as public health issue. For example, and this is where I request a decision to be made, TB is a public health issue. Because it's been declared a public health issue, the medication for TB is free. So anybody with diabetes would have 6 months of supply in order to be cured from TB for free, because it is spreading everywhere. Unlike TB, which is an infectious disease which can spread in the same household or in Parliament, one of us have TB, I will give a member for Lota who is sitting with me TB because that's how it spreads. And therefore, it fits the definition of why cannot the government look at this as a public health issue and declare it as a public health issue and address this issue of medication for these over 800,000 citizens living in here. Now, my debate is, the truth is, diabetes medication, whether it's tablets or injections called insulin, are very, very expensive. And if the good minister and the department go and do another survey of areas where incidence and prevalence of diabetes is very, very high. Example, East New Britain, the incidence of diabetes is very high. Manus, very high. Central, very high. Bougainville, very high. New Ireland, very high. So if the department undertakes a survey of the causes of hospitalization of these patients and the frequency of death to these patients, the cost to the country is enormous, Mr. Assistant Speaker. And therefore, those adults who suffer from diabetes and who are not taking their medication because they cannot afford it for 1 week, and they have a sore on the leg which cannot be treated, they lose job. And so the impact of not contributing to the workforce and building the country are also very, very significant. And so in this debate, on behalf of all the diabetics that are suffering quietly and that cannot afford diabetes throughout the country, Through you, Assistant Speaker, our good Prime Minister, could Cabinet make an intervention in this important debate that I'm bringing to the floor? I personally undertook a study while I was still a clinician in my father's village called Wanigala, and they live at Koki, for those of you who know. We did a study with Melbourne University Professor Martin, who is a diabetologist in Wanigala village, and tested the population for what we call glucose tolerance. When you drink a bottle of Coke, how high your sugar goes after 1 or 2 hours or half an hour. We did that study. And this particular group where I belong to, they have the highest prevalence of intolerance to glucose in the world. And so we, some of the provinces that I have mentioned, we have very high, what we call genetic predisposition. And therefore, the diabetes is very, very common here. The International Diabetes Federation also is advocating that the incidence and prevalence of diabetes is much higher in the rural areas than the urban areas. And you can imagine the lack of health access to many of our diabetics in the villages. And it is said, and I got my colleague medicos here on the floor of Parliament, it is said that if a diabetic does not take treatment, then he or she can succumb within 18 months with no treatment. And so, Assistant Speaker, through you, in this grievance debate on behalf of the many diabetics, close to 1 million diabetics estimated in our country, can we, our government, before we celebrate our 50th anniversary, I think this is one decision that will benefit over 1 million people and those to come. Because I started a diabetic clinic in Koki when I was health secretary, so they could have access. But many of them, that is closed, and I know that the member, Mosby South, has been working on it and refurbished it. But many, if you go and do an assessment of the diabetic population, there is death every week occurring because they cannot afford metformin and other tablets and insulin injection, and so they are dying quietly in numbers. Assistant Speaker, I hope the Prime Minister has had the debate. I hope the Good Health Minister, I know that he will make a submission to Cabinet and do the surveys in this important area. And so I hope that it can be announced so our diabetic mothers or children throughout the country can walk into a clinic and be given their supply on time, because this is one disease. If you don't take treatment, you're definitely going to die. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Honourable members, I interrupt the debate, and the question is that the grievance debate be noted. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Assistant Speaker, I move that the Parliament do now adjourn until Tuesday, 5th August 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favour say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, I adjourn the Parliament until Tuesday, 5th August 2025 at 10 o'clock a.m.